Do you know your rights as a tenant? It's crucial to understand your rights and responsibilities to ensure a smooth and hassle-free tenancy. Welcome to an enlightening journey where you'll uncover the importance of knowing your tenant rights. This isn't just a casual stroll through legal jargon, it's an empowering exploration that aims to arm you with essential knowledge for your tenancy journey. Why is this important, you may wonder? Well, understanding these rights is like having a compass in the world of tenancy. It can guide you through potential challenges, help you navigate disputes, and ultimately ensure your well-being as a tenant. In this video, we'll be your tour guide, leading you through the maze of tenant rights. We'll be exploring everything from your right to a habitable home, privacy, repairs, all the way to fair treatment. Let's dive into the world of tenant rights to equip you with the knowledge you need. First on our list is your right to a habitable home. Now, what exactly does that mean? In simple terms, a habitable home is a safe, healthy, and comfortable living space. It's more than just four walls and a roof over your head. It's a space that meets certain standards of living and is conducive to your well-being. One of the primary responsibilities of a landlord is to provide a habitable home. This obligation is not optional. It's a legal requirement. In other words, it's the landlord's job to ensure that the property you're renting is fit for human habitation. So what constitutes a habitable home? Well, it involves several key elements. Let's break them down. First up, proper heating. Whether it's the chill of winter or the cool of spring, your home should have adequate heating systems to maintain a comfortable temperature. Next, water and electricity. A habitable home must have a reliable supply of clean, running water and safe electrical wiring. This means hot water for your showers and electricity for your appliances. Then there's cleanliness. Your home should be clean and sanitary, free from pests or infestations. It's the landlord's duty to ensure the property is clean before you move in, and to address any pest problems that may arise during your tenancy. Lastly, maintenance. The property should be well maintained, with no major defects or safety hazards. This includes everything from a leaky roof to a broken stair. It's on the landlord to make needed repairs in a timely manner. In essence, a habitable home is one that provides a safe, clean, and healthy living environment. If your landlord fails to meet these standards, you have rights. You can request repairs, withhold rent, or even take legal action. So, don't settle for less. You're not just paying for a place to sleep, you're paying for a home. And not just any home, but a habitable one. Remember, a habitable home is not a luxury, it's your right. Moving on, let's talk about your right to privacy. Now, this is a fundamental right, whether you're a tenant or a homeowner. It's all about having your personal space respected, and it's a right that's protected by law. When you rent a property, you're not just borrowing a space, you're paying for the privilege of calling it home. And home, well, it's supposed to be a place where you feel safe and secure, a place where your privacy is respected. So even though you might not own the property, you still have rights, and one of those rights is the right to privacy. Now, what does this mean in practical terms? Essentially, it means that your landlord cannot just enter the property whenever they feel like it. They need to give you reasonable notice. Now, reasonable can be a bit of a gray area, but generally speaking, it means at least 24 hours. The only exception to this rule is in cases of emergencies, such as a burst pipe or a fire. It also means that your landlord cannot use their keys to enter the property for no valid reason. They can't just pop in because they were in the neighborhood or because they want to check up on you. They need a legitimate reason, such as carrying out agreed repairs or inspections, and even then they still need to give you notice. Now you might be wondering, what can you do if your landlord doesn't respect your right to privacy? Well, in most places, you can take legal action. You can report them to your local housing authority, or you could take them to court. It's important to know your rights and to stand up for them. Remember, you're not just a tenant. You're a person with rights and freedoms, and one of those freedoms is the freedom to enjoy your home without unwanted intrusions. Your home is your castle, and you have every right to guard it. Next up is your right to repairs. Just like everyone else, you as a tenant have a right to live in a safe and healthy environment. This means that your landlord has an obligation to ensure that your rental property is in a livable condition. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about your health and safety. Landlords are required to address major issues such as faulty electrical wiring, plumbing problems, or a broken heating system, especially when these issues can pose a risk to your health or safety. Yes, you heard it right. Your landlord can't ignore these problems and expect you to live with them, but what happens if they do? Well, you're not without options. If your landlord fails to make necessary repairs in a timely manner, you can take several steps to ensure your rights are protected. One of the first things you can do is to send a written request for repairs. Remember to keep a copy of this for your records. This serves as proof that you notified your landlord about the issue. If your landlord still doesn't respond, you may have the option of repair and deduct. This means you can hire a professional to fix the issue and then deduct the cost from your rent. But be careful. You need to make sure this is allowed in your state, and it's usually only permitted for serious issues. You could also consider reporting your landlord to your local housing authority. They can inspect the property and, if necessary, mandate the landlord to carry out the repairs. In extreme cases, you might even be able to break your lease without penalty if the landlord fails to provide a habitable living environment. Again, you'll want to consult with a housing expert or attorney before taking this step. So, don't be afraid to stand up for your rights. If something in your rental property needs fixing, let your landlord know. If they don't take action, remember you have options. Never hesitate to ask for repairs. It's your right and it's their responsibility. Lastly, let's discuss your right to fair treatment. This is a fundamental right that underpins all your interactions with your landlord. In the world of renting, fairness means more than just being treated with respect. It also encompasses legal protections against discrimination and the right to reasonable rent and security deposits. Now, you might be thinking, what does that all really mean, right? Well, let's break it down. Firstly, under the Fair Housing Act, landlords cannot discriminate against tenants based on race, religion, nationality, gender, disability, or familial status. This means that a landlord cannot refuse to rent to you, set different terms or conditions, or provide different services based on these protected categories. If you feel you've been discriminated against, you have the right to file a complaint with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Next, let's talk about the right to fair and reasonable rent. Landlords cannot arbitrarily hike your rent or charge you more than what is considered reasonable for comparable properties in the area. Local rent control laws may also provide additional protections against excessive rent increases. And then we have security deposits. These are amounts of money you pay up front to cover any potential damages to the property. While security deposits are common, there are laws that regulate how much a landlord can charge. Typically, this can't be more than 1 or 2 months' rent, but this can vary depending on your location. Just as important as knowing your rights is understanding how to assert them. If you believe your rights are being violated, it's essential to document everything and consult with a legal professional. There are many resources available to help you navigate these situations, so don't feel like you're in this alone. In conclusion, the right to fair treatment is a cornerstone of tenant rights. It ensures that you are treated with dignity and respect, and that your financial obligations are reasonable and within the bounds of the law. Remember, fair treatment isn't just ethical, it's the law. Now that we've covered your basic rights as a tenant, you're better equipped to handle any situation that may arise. You've learned that you have the right to a habitable home, meaning your landlord is obliged to provide a safe, clean, and livable environment. You also have the right to privacy, meaning your landlord can't just barge in without notice. We've also discussed your right to repairs and how your landlord should address any maintenance issues in a timely manner. Lastly, we touched on your right to fair treatment. Your landlord must treat you fairly and cannot discriminate based on race, religion, gender, or disability. Remember, if you ever feel like your rights have been violated, don't hesitate to seek legal advice. Knowledge is power, and understanding your rights as a tenant gives you the power to protect yourself. Thanks for watching.